All right. So we've covered the first 3, surviving. We went through 4 to 5, building the investment account. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes and how you can truly improve not only your financial standing, but your overarching life. We're talking about thriving. And I'm going to start this by stating, by the way, your value in life is not tied to your net worth. So let's talk about the first of these 3. Number 1, which is actually step number 6. Location, location, location. And I'm not talking about just real estate here. Why do you live where you live? Is it because of your job? Is it because of your family? Is it because you've always known? Why do you live where you live? You might have a really good answer to that question. You might not. I have had a lot of conversations with people across the nation at this point over the last year, and I've given out a lot of advice of moving. The reason you're financially unstable at this moment might have everything to do with the fact that you live just outside of New York City. There might be nothing you can do. Literally, mathematically, nothing that you can do because you live in Miami. Let me tell you, the odds are stacked against you so heavily financially. I don't really have a lot of advice for you other than what keeps you there. Are you at your job right now listening to this because you don't want to be there? You may indeed be living somewhere for a very good reason, but that very good reason may also be the reason that you feel so financially poor. Could be. Could be. Location. And these are just questions to ask yourself. Maybe bring up in Pillow Talk. If you live by yourself, Pillow Talk is you talking to yourself. Don't feel ashamed. Write some stuff down. Journal. I just think it's a question worth asking. Why do you live where you live? And by the way, why do you live in America? I'm not anti-America, but why do you live there? These are just questions worth asking yourself, because I think a lot of us are in America because we were born and raised in America. So just asking the question, like, why haven't I gone and seen Britain? Why haven't I gone and seen Australia? Like, I don't know. 7. This is the one where I'm going to get the most eye rolls, but I have to say it. In the money game, we're talking math. What goes in versus what goes out. The 7th piece of advice is increase income. Boo. How much money you make determines a lot. It's the most obvious piece of advice out there. Zach, you're advising I make more money? Are you saying I'm struggling with money because I don't make enough? You don't think I haven't already thought of that? I'm not saying you haven't thought of it. I'm also not saying it would solve all your problems. I know plenty of people that have made more money and became poorer. If you're in a position where within the next 5 years, if either of these aren't true, it's time to start asking questions. In 5 years, are you going to be making at least $80,000 or more? I want to say $100,000, by the way. I want to say $100,000, but I'm assuming dual income. The second thing I need you to answer is, by 2031, do you think your job still exists? Maybe I say 5 years and you're like, Zach, it might be 2 years. Brother, it might be time to look into other career ventures, okay? Because there's only so much financial advice I can give you if you're in an area that's expensive, at a job that doesn't make enough money, in a position that isn't really secure from the AI tech wave that is already here and growing. Okay, last step, whole wealth. This is my favorite part, by the way. This is where we exit out of the black pill. We hit the depth. We hit the very bottom. Stick with me. We hit the very bottom. Now we're going to make our way up. Whole wealth. Guys, money is not wealth. Wealth is not money. But true wealth does come from you. Might sound stupid. You might hear that and be like, Zach, get rid of this Alice in Wonderland bull crap you're talking about. Comes from me. It does. I'll prove it. If you can't hang out in your own brain for 20 minutes without having to seek some form of escape via entertainment, scrolling, doing something, if you can't sit in silence with your own brain, your own heart, your own spirit, are you wealthy? I think wealth is deeper than money. And so we've been talking about this thing called whole wealth, brain, body, and spirit, while it's at the end. How can I take care of my brain, my body, and my spirit? And how can it lead me toward being wealthier? Well, for one, everything you do stems off your brain. Everything you've ever done, everything you've ever thought, everything you've ever emotionally conceptualized, anything that's ever happened within your variant of life, any of your 5+ senses have experienced is based off your brain. You have a 9-pound meat computer with electric and water running through it in between your ears. You're never going to see it. It's the most important organ you're ever going to come in contact with. We need to love it. And we need to stop sacrificing it to all of the vices, to all of the entertainment, all of the algorithms, all of the arguments, all of the emotion, all of the things that make your brain everything except what it's supposed to be. which is your GPS. Tactically, I would say meditate and read a book. I'm going to suggest you disconnect. In fact, I gave some advice on another podcast yesterday. It was a little bit more consolidated advice of what we're giving right now. And I gave them the advice of PAD. Okay, PAD takes off of what we've just talked about today, just in a more condensed manner. It was print money, asset ownership, and disconnecting. We need to get away from all the craziness that owns our brains. And we need to get back into understanding we have control over our life. There's a lot of beauty in this world, and we can obtain beauty in this world without a pay gate. There is no paywall for enjoying the world. And a lot of us live the life that we live in the place that we live it, doing what we do. It's just because it's what we've always done. At what point do you go back and find out who you are? Might sound like a deep question, because it is. I think there's less than 5% have actually gotten down to true identity, that have sat with themselves long enough and gotten to the point where they feel they actually truly know who they are, what they want to give to this life, and what they want to give to the people around them. And I think that's beautiful. And I think there's no wealthier person on the planet that has that piece. For the body, proper nutrients. I have a multivitamin powder every morning. Knock out a multivitamin. Take some magnesium. Work out. Put your body through something it doesn't want to go through, because that's the stuff that's going to make you feel good. Doing stuff that's like the gym, working out, running, walking, Pilates, yoga, soccer. Walk backwards. Just go out and stand in the yard and do some squats. I want you to take control of it through conscious decisions that invest in yourself instead of consuming yourself. We are consuming ourselves to the point where there's going to be nothing left instead of investing into a future better us. All right? Last is spirit. 10 minutes in silence, 10 minutes in prayer, 10 minutes in a Bible. You can open up the Quran. You can open whatever you want. A little bit of understanding of you were created in some way, shape, or form, and then every walking vessel on this planet has blood, has arteries, has intestines, has a heart and lungs and rib cage and skull and spinal cord, just like you. All right, believe in whatever you want it to be. I believe it takes a lot more to believe we weren't created than we are, but that doesn't matter here. What I'm saying is we're all in some way, shape, or form the same. Coming to the grounding of that thought process, it makes everything seem a bit less heavy. The thought process of what am I going to do today that's going to impact future generations? What am I going to be able to do with my life, my day, that's going to impact the next 100 years, 1,000 years? We've gotten away from that thought process. That's an incredible thought process. Not be so focused on money as we talk about money. I want you to understand the mechanisms that can get you out of the holes you were in financially, as our country seemingly doesn't care about that for you, all while taking care of you. Everything that you do throughout the day, that after you've done it, you think to yourself, why am I doing this again? Every time you fall into that habit, anytime you fall into that thought process, anytime you fall back to that person, that vice, that addiction, you're hit with that shame. Don't sit in it and feel shame. Sit in it and ask questions. Ask yourself questions and stop being controlled by everything else around you, from the people to the devices to everything that's going on in the world through celebrities and politicians. When are you actually going to take control of your life and seek whole wealth? You may not feel as in control of your financial situation, but you are in full control of how you treat your day and how you treat yourself, and whether or not that little voice in your head is leading you toward destruction or growth, consumption or investment. The world's nuts. We agree. The system's rigged. We agree. The rules around the system are pegged so the elites benefit in the long term. We agree. But all games have rules. As Michael Jackson said it, starts with a man in the mirror.